learning and development for the pharma professionals, which we lovingly call Life Pharma Coalition. We have all heard about the American Marketing Association, popularly known as the AMA. Now, AMA terms the Indian customers as ABCD customers. Now, what is this ABCD? A stands for astrology, B stands for Bollywood, C stands for cricket, and D stands for discount sale. Well, you will find that more or less all Indians basically buy out of this four major criteria. If an astrologer says that it's good for you, if a Bollywood star endorses the product, if a cricketer says that I use it, and the longest queue is if there is a discount sale. So that's basically about ABCD. Now let's come to C, that is cricket. Last Sunday, we had a very good encounter of India-Pakistan on the Asia Cup. And in fact, the person who really made a difference to the outcome of the match was none other than Hardik Pandya. It was the year 2018, just 4 years back, same venue, Asia Cup. Hardik Pandya got seriously injured, and the injury was so serious that he had to be taken out of the field on a stretcher. What I really want to tell before you is how glorious the comeback was from such a devastating setback. So in life, our comebacks need to be as big or much bigger than the setbacks, and that is what is very important for all of us in the professional world. But there are two things which were very important for the return of Hardik Pandya. One, first is the belief in his abilities. That means he knew that the best is yet to come. And the second is proper guidance by the coaches and the physios. In our professional life also, we often stumble and fall down, but then we need to believe that this is not the end of the road, but it is time we need to introspect ourselves and take care of our shortcomings. And the best people who can do that are our coaches, our trainers, our mentors, and guide. And LPC provides that platform where we bring renowned speakers every week to share their learnings, to share their experience, so that we all can gain out of the insights that they give us on this LPC platform. So let us transform the biggest setbacks into the most glorious comebacks. And it's time I share the presentation of the journey of LPC. So welcome to the world's largest online pharma discussion platform, Life Pharma Coalition. And it has become the largest pharma discussion platform with the support of over 45 plus pharma companies and institutions, with more than 125 speakers and over 20,000 people reach on Facebook and YouTube. And this is only because of the support of the strong 28 strong executive member committee that we have on LPC, who are spread across the length and breadth of the globe. Of course, the biggest event that we have so far had is the LPC 100 conclave at Mumbai in the month of March. Thank you so much for your overwhelming support, and for any type of collaboration that you would like to associate with Life Pharma Coalition, please get in touch with Mr. Raman, Mr. Yashwant, Mr. ICS, and even me. This is the speakers who were there, who were so very instrumental in making this event a success. And this photograph is reminiscent of the support and of the companionship that we had of all the top pharma leaders of the pharmaceutical industry of India. The biggest event that we have just round the corner, means just a week left. That is next Sunday, we will be into this event. That is LPC 125 conclave at Ahmedabad. It is exactly 7 days away. That's 11th of September. And the time is 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And because of the overwhelming response, we had to shift the venue to Novotel, because we are expecting an attendance of 150 plus delegates. And the photograph is also reminiscent of the dignitaries who will be gracing the occasion. So please don't hold yourself back. Please register now to avail the early bird offer of 2,000 rupees, and you can be a part of this wonderful learning journey of LPC 125 conclave. And not only that, you will get a chance to physically interact with the top dignitaries in the pharma industry. And as we all say, that our network is our net worth. So this is the best place where you can carry out your networking as well as socializing with lots of people who are associated directly or indirectly with the pharmaceutical industry. So for any type of assistance regarding the registration, you can contact Mr. Yashwant, Mr. Raman, Mr. ICS, or me at the numbers given at the bottom of your screen. And this journey wouldn't have been possible without the support of Imagica Health. In fact, Imagica Health explores the intersection between design, digital health technology, and content marketing for leading brands, because they have an ex-marketeer-led team of medical writer, graphic designers, streamers, coders who serve the pharma industry for bettering the customer engagement, bringing patient centricity, improving control on the sales team, and increasing the return on investment for various marketing campaigns. Thank you so much, Imagica Health, for being a constant support for our learning endeavor. As far as LPC 124 is concerned, today we have on board Mr. Rajaram Yadav, who is an Associate Director of Cipla Respiratory. In fact, the topic that he is going to dwell upon today is building field force capabilities. Yes, many of us have the ability, but then what we need to develop is the capability. And what are the capabilities that we need to develop for the field force? And that is exactly what he is going to throw light upon. To take this learning journey forward, I have with me Mr. Yashwant Mishra, who is a sales trainer and leadership coach and is the founder director of Benzene Ring Learning Solutions. So once again, a reminder for LPC 125 Conclave. And thank you once again for Life Pharma Coalition 123, which was last week, which was on academic leadership. And thank you so much for a wonderful reach on Facebook and as well as YouTube. And it's time I hand over the next part of the session to Mr. Yashwant Mishra so that he can give a brief introduction of Mr. Rajaram Yadav. So over to you, Yashwant, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Arpan, for the excellent introduction and overview. On the behalf of Life Pharma Coalition, I welcome all the viewers and the speaker for today's session. Before I hand over the session to Rajaram Yadav, let me give a brief about the forthcoming most excited LPC 125. As Arpan also mentioned, we are really humbled, grateful to all the registered members who have registered for this conclave. We are expecting 150 plus audience and leaders across organizations who are going to participate in this Mahakumbh of pharma industry. So we are really excited and we welcome you all. Those who have not registered yet, today is the last day for early bird. If you remember, today is the 4th September. Today is the last day for the early bird registration. So do register now. Link you will get in our website. And some of the key features of this conclave is some of the eminent speakers like Mr. Ganesh Nayak, Executive Director of Zydus, will come as a guest of honor. Mr. Amrut Nayak, who is the President of Emerging Market in Zydus, will also grace the occasion. Mr. Shahbaz Alam from Shahbaz Pharmaceutical Delhi will come as a delegate. Mr. Ramesh Juneja, who is the Senior Vice President in Reliance Retail Pharma, will come and deliver a lecture. Mr. Madhav Kulkarni, who is the President of Zydus, will come. Mr. Gagan Atreja, President of Africa Healthcare, will also come. Mr. Ashok Bhatia will grace the occasion, and Dr. P.K. Rajput from Cadila will also be a delegate and a speaker. Apart from this, Mr. Vikas Khare, who is the Senior Vice President of JV Pharma, Mr. Bharat Solanki from Bioslave, and Mr. Sandeep Dey from Acumentis. These are the eminent, prominent speakers who are coming. Apart from lot of panel discussions will happen. Panel discussions will be focusing, all the entire session will be focusing on Pharma 4.0, digital transformation, leadership crisis, what we are learning, MCI, UCPI, PMP guidelines, regulations, what is the way ahead, evolving role of women in pharmaceuticals, and how to build a high performance team. So my dear friend, it is a wonderful opportunity for learning and networking with industry leaders. We look forward for you all to welcome you all. And now come to today's session. As Arpan mentioned, Mr. Rajaram Yadav, who is the Associate Director in Cipla Respiratory, is having 17 years of experience in pharmaceutical industry. He started his career with McLeod, and after 1 year working in McLeod, he joined Cipla. So 16 plus years of experience in Cipla in various functions in respiratory. In the entire respiratory family, he is known as subject matter expert in respiratory, in-depth understanding of various elements of respiratory. Not only that, he is known as a leader par excellence. And he is towards building capabilities. Today, he is going to share his personal experience and some research he has done on how to build a high performance team, how to build capability of your field force. With that, I request Mr. Rajaram Yadav to take the session. Unmute your mic and go ahead, Rajaram.
So thank you so much, sir, for both of your kind words which you have given to me. It is like you are making one symbol candle to a sun. But anyway, so I'll try my best to give the justice to this subject at all. So today, I thankful for LPC for giving this opportunity to me. I thrilled enough to join it, sir. Frankly, I just slept at around 4 a.m. early in the morning. Get up at 6 a.m. early in the morning just to see that what is LPC. So you can understand what is the vibes of LPC is going in the industry around. So thank you so much. I just start this subject which you have given, and then try to complete within the time frame which you have given to me. And it is compilation of my own experience and some which I learned from different trainers, different places. But I involved only the experience which gives this succeed in the market with my team itself. So just with your permission, I'm just sharing my slides to go ahead. I think slide is visible, right?
Visible.
Yeah. So capability building, it's more of a thought process. It's more of remembrance. Many of time it's going in the brain, but many of time you find that it's not on the platform, or we are not able to do many things. So what is the brain is remembering? I learned some places that do not push the brain more things to remember. Now the matter of technology, you can put the things to remember on the technology and put your brain full exercise and energy to do or execute the things. So some places which we have did. So what is objective today is to understand that what is capability and capacity building and what it is going to give to us. As already in the introduction that we have seen that the now and then the market challenges has been changed, the policies has been changed, and we have to work accordingly to get the same productive and performance result, and we should have a performing team along with us. So what is capability building? Somewhere around what I feel is that the capability building is an impact is very important because they form foundation of delivering value to organization through the processes. So processes very much need to understand. Most of the time, because of the busy schedules, we all managers has took the process very effectively. Slowly, it's going down, fade away. So what is important is that we should keep the all process which has been given organization and learn with us in the field. So it is in my all this presentation, there will be the 3 steps to understand this. Understanding the business model, transforming by some surveys, international surveys and my own survey, identifying the capability, primary and secondary customer, because in pharma we are having 2 type of customer, primary and secondary, and I do have myself some survey on this at both the places, so that I will reveal some outcomes of it. Science and skills. So as we are working in pharma, so science is, we all know that it should be the first steps, and the skills is must to be acquired, and some people are coming with some skillfuls, but set of skills which are required as per our profession and the business, that comes around. So just to understand each and step, So if you want to understand all the steps, the first step is required, which complete all the things, that you just push the like button of Facebook so that you can be able to understand everything. So I'm just joking around it. So let's start. So understanding this, there is some processes required to adopt it. As I said, that process is very much important, but the process has got some important thing is like tools and systems. Tools and systems is sometime we made, sometime we get prepared tools from the organization in which we are working. It may be the pharma and beyond pharma also. But what is important is to understand that you implement all the tools as per your geography wherever you are working. Because most of the time I find that the maximum the system driven and the tools which we have which made, it is for entire understanding the entire organization, entire India. So now India is like many India sitting in different places. The UP is different from definitely Aurangabad, and Aurangabad definitely highly different from the Bangalore and Delhi. So that we need to understand what is our customer need, and primary customer definitely for our team, and the secondary customer is doctors, what is important, and the consultants is required for this. So process, so that's why I said that the tools which you have tailored for your own geography, put in all process. Process is required, what and why. So I recently I learned from a workshop, it is not what and how, why and who. It is very important that who is going to do this. So in my subsequent slide, there is relevance that why, who is should be the first in the process. Process should be very intact, and it should be written with goals. Most of the time what we are thinking and processing, it is not actually goal, it is imagination. This is we are going to do, and this is our goals is much which is like doable, and it should be in steps. Step 1 with time bounded, and it is going to be completion this, and after completion you should be observed that my first step is going to be achieved or not. Knowledge skill and behavior. So very much important that now today we are getting our all team and managers from the different education background, different geographies, and we need to make the tailored capability building process for them by mentorship or the coach with them. What is important in knowledge, skill, and behavior? So most of the time we started with to change the behavior. So but important with behavior is that it always takes some time and consistency. Behavior, as per neuroscience, is that you required any small behavior to change minimum 90 days, and that to be with background of everyday practice of that behavior. You should remember that behavior and then continuously coming out. So now why it is knowledge is required? What I believe and my personal belief is that knowledge is very much important once we are going in discussion with initiating the discussion, because we deal with always science. So the confidence driven in the chamber while you discussing, it's all about the knowledge what you are going to deal with. So knowledge set, you should, everybody can do it, but yes, still as a manager, as a leader, you should plot the different group in your team itself, that who are on the top, who are middle, and the lower. So accordingly you assign the people. But I believe is that if you are assigning somebody, then it is actually give you the space from outsider, and you can observe that the process is going continuously on process or not. If suppose that you find that knowledge required, and you give some medical person is to train to your team, from outside you can understand this, whatever the learning this medical trainer has given to them, it is relevant to our team or not. Same time, if the person is coming with all knowledge, but the skill set is required, because after COVID, before COVID, you all heard many a platform, many a time, that now the complete process has changed. So you acquired a new skill set, how to contribute to make the fastest performing team in that. This skill set has to acquired, and now with virtual, you have many platforms where you can acquire the knowledge. Some universities are there on just online with very economic processes that you can acquire on. And final for this slide is the organization. So organization goal is set up for everybody and everything. So then this organizing this all three process tools, system, process, knowledge, skills, and behavior. If it is on track, online, on platform, that means you are definitely achieving your organization goal around it. So to achieve this all things what we are talking, what simple things is very required. Simplicity is very much important in our process, because growth, high growth required a simple process, so that everybody from top to bottom can able to understand from one go. So, and this is very complex, and it is like vice versa. For if it is complex things, deteriorating the growth. If it is simple thing, it is increasing the growth. So high growth performance, what is required for us is the time management. So time management, there is a big lectures you are thinking it around. So but many of time that we are doing the multitasking around it, and in multitasking around it, we are not able to plot that what all the things are required. So what I believe is that time management is nothing but it is to arranging our things that most important and subsequent things. So what I believe is that just to plot all your task in 4 quadrant and identify that what is must, and must things are not only things already always on acute and urgent basis. Whenever we think that the things are must, means everything we are plotting that it is urgent. For an example, acquiring the skill set, it is must, but it can't be acute. So today we are trying to understand and acquiring it is one in 1 hour, not possible, but it is must. That means it's a process which you have need to go continuously. Sometimes some things are required on urgent basis. So urgent basis, if you are launching a new product, you require very urgent thing is that the set of customers to whom you are going to launch and the launch strategy, and foremost is that who. So these are the things that you put all your time management, your task in the 4 quadrant, then you are able to make it very easy and process followed. So next thing is just consistency and hand holding. So once you are plotting this all task in 4 parameters and you find that what is must and what is urgent. So must is required very consistency. Capability building is required very consistent and month on month, or depending on that what is the load at your managers or your team. So it is very important to understand that what task already you have given to the managers or your team is that if you have a sufficient time, try to understand that this task which already has been given by the organization, what they required, from what is the time schedule between that and the interval required to be consistent. So you cannot put the all training every 7 days, because your person is required many other things, and we all know that RCPA, profiling, closing, this and that, and then, so that you have for learning you should require a peace and calm mind, so that the proper interval which you need to tailored everyone as per their geography, therapy, and the processes. Why I'm saying hand holding, because the consistency of training has been happened. You are being continuously consistent as manager from outside. Why then hand holding is required? You see, you can think over it that we are going as per the plan, step by step approach, and then why hand holding? Still, you find that in IIT and top institutes like where you find that always you have some backbenchers. Everybody is not having same kind of understanding and urging on it. It's a simple science. So brain required grasping in different places. So even if you are doing the fantastic training from the world best mentor, still you required some people is not able to understand from one go. So you just take these people on hand holding, and hand holding is nothing. It's just 10-minute extra to them. So frequently, you as a manager should meet with them frequently, once in a month at least, to understand that what is they are able to understand, what steps they are able to understand, and where they reach. What is the current status and where they reach? Are you on the right path? Are they achieving? Are you able to achieve their goal? So the best, both these after completing, that pick up the best practices. So pick upping best practice is one thing. You are understanding these 5 people are doing well. So but these 5 people don't understand that you are able to understand that they are grasping, they are improving. So what I believe and personally feel, and in my recent some years, what I started, I put that practice on paper. What do you mean? What do you mean by paper? I just put the small story of this person as a breaking news, that what he achieved grasping from this training and how it is converting this training to the product ultimately, because ultimately we require the value. So are we able to driven the value? So once you are putting these success stories regularly as a practice, the rest all the managers will start, or all the learners will start grasping indirectly. Indirectly means what? They will able to understand this practice this person has achieved and achieving the final goal. So with this, they will learn that this is the shortcuts, that is the tactics. So most of the time we are adopting the tactics in different way, but this is another one good tactic. Another one more practice which I started, that the people who do well, people who do well, I'll always take their interview, and with this interview I put them on team group as a video, and the people are able to understand this is happening. The final step of this is the outcome and incentivize. So what I believe is that the incentivize is very important. The incentivize always not goes to the money. Incentivize is that if you're recognizing some people on the group, in the group, on the different platforms, they are always get incentivized, but you need to understand the really gauge their performance and outcome, then you give the real incentivize to them, then people definitely going to be understand. This is the small 4 requirements for you to understand the Vinci code, which is I learned before, 4 or 5 years, and I continuously. The Vinci code is that you find the people in your team, some of are there over extra exploring the things, or they are exposing themselves to them, but do you find the some middle layer or the lower layer, their their results are very good, they are working very well, their basics are very good, but ultimately they are not able to expose themselves that what they do. So for these people, this code you need to crack. Once you are need to crack this, you need to meet them, you need to handle them, then you are able to understand the principle never changes, which I always believe. Principle never changes, tactics do change. So principle, what is the principle for is just to connecting the dots. We just first thing is that we do all reviews. So what I believe that now reviews should change. But before that, we the organization giving the practices that sending the formats to the people, and the people whole team is filling this format, and then they are putting on it. Now what I believe is that the review is always good. Go for the basic review and the campaign reviews what you are generating, but generate this data at your end or with your subordinates and the manager and ask that their comments. Send this your analytical paper to them on time, so that they can understand what is that. Ultimately this principle will actually increasing their mindset, their capabilities in doing the data analysis. And data analysis is not just one skill set, they are able to understand that where they are. Actually data guide them that what need to do on urgent basis and in subsequent basis. So whenever you are, you should practice it, and you send on very regular basis this data analysis to them. Practice is very short term, that give the result immediately, but it can't be a strategy. So please stick to the basics, but I believe, and continuously stick on this. Making environment is very much important, because again I'm saying that you are in the process of changing somebody's behavior, which is very very difficult. So making environment that you should be very familiar. Once you are meeting with as a manager, second line, third line, or first line manager, just go greet them, listen them. Most important than listen them, give them a platform. If they are not able to express that themselves, as I said that some people are not able to express themselves, you make open-ended questions, talk to them, walk the talk. Then this tiki taka make you the complete environment for them to learning. Then put them all people tailor made. Do not make everybody's same type of coaching, same type of training at the same time. Even if you want to do the same subject on the lab, please put around that different times, or give some extra time to them. The final for this, the Vinci code, this emotional bank account. What I believe personally, that you should have a beyond money account, you should have an emotional bank account. So emotional bank account is nothing but you can credit and you debit the emotionals. So once you are giving greed to the greed to your team member, so it is you are crediting to some respect to them. Definitely your account will be debited with the some of the other emotional from your side. Once you are debit emotional, you get the credit emotional around it. So emotions is not about that you are talking about a person that he is doing well. Why the person or the team person is able to do well? It is because the support, not only the organization or team, it also from the family background of this person. This individual is working beyond the hours. What we are believing that he is stopping his work once he do the last call in the field, but it's not. Once he reaches to the home, he has same emotional storage in his mind. He's actually devoting his time at home, and this time actually is he is trying to take from the family time. So what I believe is that sometime or once in a while, you just greet this person personal achievement at their home. Go to their home. Please let our parents know that how good he is. Believe me, this practice will give you immense pleasure and the person immense pleasure, and increasing the bonding from one bond to triple bond and four bond. So that will be the become the saturation emotional bonding. And once you are being saturated emotional bonding, the very rare to get breakdown in your relationship, at the professional relationship and the personal relationship, both will going to be built, because all we are from the science background, and we know that once carbon gets saturated, it is not going to be react from another one. So this is a reactive atom. If you are making the saturation bond around it, you definitely get the long-term benefit out of it. So what is gap into this? What we are learning around it? Knowing and doing is what I believe there. Most of the time, what we feel that I know everything about my team. I know everything about my leader. I know everything about my campaign or my strategy. But the important thing is that what is difference between the successor or non-success in this? The only thing is doing. And doing requires the simple steps. From somewhere you need to start. So once you start, you need that simple and very simple steps to do this. We know product life. Some products start from somewhere and it's going to death. Some product got automatic death and some are not. Why this? Because if you are launching some product with effect of your team with different strategy, and consistency is not going to be done that. So the any product is directly proportional to how involved you as manager in this. It may be the emotional bonding with your team or strategically. Second thing, we know customer shift. Nowadays, old molecule to new molecule, many companies are launching new molecule with one or the other extra effort with this extended release and BID to OD or TDS to OD. So this is all strategically tactical moves of the company, but we need to understand that how to drill in the brain of our customer, how push we are and how hard we are. So just make ensure that all your team member know this, practice this, and putting this. The new thing is that now chemical molecules to the jumabs. So many diseases now being controlled through the jumabs, and the many consultants have started to use jumabs. So we should understand, we should increase our knowledge around the jumabs, so that it will be good to us to discuss with our top end customers. It gives definitely your respect from their side, and respect always, once you credit respect or emotion credit in your emotional bank, definitely you get outcome of the productive or the products or the in prescription generation. Pharmacological knowledge to the intervention knowledge. Today every consultant, every therapy general physician to the super specialist want to do intervention or involved interventions in their practice. Small to big, it may be different. It is intervention is not always goes to the something operating condition or something other. Intervention may be applying something in different way. For an example, doing bronchoscopy is one thing. It's a definitely intervention, but identifying the intervention that it is required. Very simple example. I just wanted to quote here. One physician has started in one territory the practice, so he want to just put himself as a diabetic specialist and the cardiac specialist. So being physician, he don't do many interventions. It's the cardiologist who do the all intervention. What he started, very simple thing is that he put the cardiac monitor, small cardiac monitor in his chamber, and it's different. Is started just taking the in the fingertip all the parameters of them, and he elaborate these parameters to the patient. Within 1 year of time, without saying, without any add and word to him, he start practicing, and his practice is developed as a cardiologist. Why? Because his patient is able to understand that why my doctor is giving this pill to me, why this pill is important for me, because he shows the result on the monitor before and after this treatment. Same wise, this information we should know, and we should express this information different way as per your therapy and as per your geography. But that is very important. Now things are being changed. Specialist to super specialist. So what happened? If we all understand, we go one place, for example Lucknow or the Jaipur or the some other places, we found some doctors are trendsetter. Are how long they are trendsetter. We should understand. Keep this in your mind. Park this question on that. In coming slides, I'll let you know, and in my survey, that what is difference is coming. Basics always basics, as I already said, but yes, there is a change in understanding. So now one survey came in this year. This year is fabulous. Last year is very fabulous. Why? Because the virtual platforms or the attendees are just 12%, including all developing countries to the underdeveloping countries. But last year there is survey, they find that 51% of world population get connected with internet. If you add from the age of 6 years to 11 years, this 51 goes to 61%. In the practice, you find many parents put their child on the internet. Maybe it's a movie or something. 36% population of world is on the social media. Means what? Whatever you want to do, you do these things via virtually. That means that the 51% of population is seeing you. 36% of the population in social media seeing you. What you are doing is means, if you are increasing your capability, understanding, then make their capability towards the virtual platforms. Make them your team to understand that how to customize, personalize these things as per your organization rule, because now rules has been important to adopt your compliance as per your organization. But believe me, if you are adopting this practice, definitely your team confidence, your team's relationship, your customer, primary and secondary, both are going to be increased. Translating this intel to doing or action is very important, because as I said, that knowing is not only the things. Knowing the things is thus just 30%, because you have many sources around it, but doing is very important. The only difference between the successor and non-successor, faster and slower, is only the doing and non-doing, or slow doing, the faster doing. Process starts from where? What is very much important? Recently, I learned that before that, what is in the industry is that what we want to do, how we want to do, and when we start. These are the three things, and with these three words, the world best organizations are making their all strategy, pulling their money into that: what, how, and when. Recently, I went through a book, right, and it shows that it is not who, good to great. The book is the good to great, but yes, who is very important. I analyze and realize this, why who is so much important. So I find that some people in our team who can drive the capabilities, who can handholding better than the others, right? So you just choose this person, tell tell him about your goal, what you want to do is. Now this person who is automatic plotting when you want to start, with whom you want to start, and what type of process is going to be adopted. Means what? If you are choosing the right person, if right person on the bus, that means you are achieving the final objective for sure. So what I believe is that you start practicing every day. Who is very much important. How you are going to do it, it's a different, because now once you choose this right who, that means you have a synergistic effect. Now the two mindsets are seeing between you and him. Again, I learned one more thing is that if your team, 50% of your team start thinking, 50% of your managers start thinking as you think, as per the goal and process, you'll be win. So first, try to understand who. Second step is that who are the 50% are like-minded people, and make them practice to understand. Then your goal is going to achieve. We launches some therapies behind their maximum consultant are not practicing that therapy. But once I feel that 50% of my managers started thinking that these are the super specialty ILD or PH, but they started thinking as I. They started different kind of the training programs for them. They started one-to-one training program. They started one-to-one discussion inside it. Then I find that within 4 months of time, the base of prescriber has developed almost fourfold, 4x. So this is my personal experience, and books are also saying, I mean, always evidence practice is always better. So this is evident, which I learned and then I found in my practice also. Customer survey, as I already told that. So this is disclaimer from my side that it is unpublished. This is my own understanding. You can get it up or you can reject it. But what I feel is that, as I said, that every geography, every big hospital, big territory, or the metro countries are having some trendsetters. They are being trendsetter continuously. But what important into that? So this is, I drill down almost by default it is like 220 consultant, it's 200 consultants. It took me to almost 7 months to talk to them, to discuss them, to understand. Basically, these are the chest vision cardiologists to understand around it. So I took the doctors almost, the practice time is 7 to 10 years, because they are the doctors who are they are the consultants who are able to customers who are able to understand themselves. They are exploring many resources to explore themselves, to fix them, and these are the second and tertiary towns. I also involved into that. What I believe, and they said, what is different between before and now? Number one point is that earlier, this all students are depending on their professors. They are writing the thesis. They are telling them, you just go and read that book. Just go and Google itself from these different site. But the passwords are always with the professors. So they always behind that. Whenever they achieve it, they started doing it, and they start following. Unknowingly, they start following everything. They start copying their prescription. They start copying their diagnostic algorithm. They start copying their lifestyle behavior. So what had changed in last 3-4 years? Now the knowledge of everyone has improved, that from where this knowledge can be get. Where is the virtual library? Where is the medical library? Now they write good writing process, because there are many tools are available in the on internet. With the help of that, they are writing faster thesis with less of time, and they learn intervention through internet. Now these young doctors from their places, they are putting good interventional videos on the YouTube and the different platforms. They learn from there and they start practicing. So what is different? If they are achieving this practice, what is outcome of it? The outcome of that, they start prescribing latest molecules before going to the any conference, or before or along with the top consultants, the trendsetters. So this gives us important lesson that now we should not put our complete energy towards the trendsetters. We should keep in mind that these some intellectual people are sitting in the second and tertiary. They are doing the same equivalent time of practice and prescription and the intervention also. And they, because he's the only one or the very couple of people there in the second and tertiary town. So because with this intel and information, their practice is growing very fast. So if you are adopting this knowledge, drill down this knowledge to your team and the managers, they start connecting with this type of customers and giving them solution from the offered by your organization for the long term and continuous bonding with them. You'll be winner in this territory. And territory, the final achievement comes from one territory plus two territory plus three territory, and some of that it's called success. So these actually not follower as such. Trendsetters or the big institutes, they adopt their mindset, they apply their own application, they apply on their own mindset. Should I follow this? Should I not? Should I start earlier? Should I not? So with this questioning, these people are slightly ahead from the others as earlier. Interest in learning by virtual, different platforms, I already said. So this survey has given many insights to me. I adopted this practice at my team level, and I give it to achieve it. That only one case I want to project here, and that is my second slide into this. So I just adapted one place. It is just for last year. We identified that some place is called Sitapur around it. So this is like we found that one new prescription is coming from this place. New launch prescriptions continuously from 1 month, some amount of business, second month add-on business, third month. So just we get into that why this business coming, because this is totally uncovered. We never achieve it. So we went there, identified, not went there, just identified through our distribution line that why it is and which is this. Then we identified this one particular customer is coming from the metro city and started practice there, and he is adopting everything. We went there, do interview this doctor, try to understand that this is happening around it. So we did plot the action plan around it. All the headquarters, which is which is there, our team is placed. Our first line and second line try to understand this action plan, and they made the complete draw action plan, made the list. This all 5 to 7 years, which is coming from the top institutes and practicing in the different places. So we identified that the practice line is same, the prescription line is same, and these started developing, generating the business all uncovered towns. The thing is that we started from the digital connect with this person, with the top end consultants is there, only 5 to 10. So we did the CME type of platform. It is like consensus forms. Consensus forms is nothing but you are taking only 10 like-minded doctors. Out of them, one is moderator, putting question by question across them. One question, making the consensus that what to prescribe, why not to prescribe, what therapy, what is the algorithm we should add. It is, and these people are actually putting the practice guideline, merging them international guidelines, that why, how they apply the international guideline to. Ultimate results, we found that within 1 month of time, 3 uncovered towns become productive. Uncovered, I'm saying. So this is actually increasing your capacities. With same resources, you can develop many things. So that's how I go with this. This is on the same way. One paper is published by McKinsey, 6 steps to transform your marketing and sales capabilities. This is of 2015 paper, but my survey is gone to just in 1921 and the early 22. So it has just 6 steps as per them. So know where you are and where you are going. So first thing, as I said, that you just fix up your own goals and try to understand where your team as of now, what capability is required for personal, create a transformation team built on trust. Definitely you have a good trust of your team, but still you just try to understand who means who is going to deliver for you, how he is going to be synchronizing between you and them, how you are making the strengthening. Score quick wins. Score quick wins, just score your own team within month on month that two wins, these are the winners, and how you are going to reward them, score them, and count them. Activate the organizations. So what I believe is that the whatever the organization planning has given to them, given to you, please activate them, do them on time, commit to coach. So commit to coach is very much important. It's a big thing you can learn from somewhere, but you coach every day, make them understand your own goal and steps, are they adapting or not. If they are skipping some steps, please remind them. Hardware a performance culture. We all know that software is very important, same way hardware is very much important. Hardware is nothing, asking question time and again, same question, same gaps, skip steps, please. It will make your culture. It will takes another 90 days or 4 months, definitely will win around it. So this is paper published internationally, but it shows that it is happening. Thank you so much. Before ending that, what I believe is that here you should have a CEO behavior in your team. So behavior will develop like this only. C matlab collaborating inside, compete outside. Collaborate with your all different teams, your training team, medical team, and your managers. Collaborate with them. Do the capability building, whatever you find and find it. Execute on time. C, then E for execute, and O for owner's mentality. This is abbreviation is given by Mr. D. Sivakumar, who is like most leader, the world leader. So just I learned that if these three things you are able to inbuild in your team, definitely the CEO will gain out on. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for listening to me. Mr. Sir, you are on mute.
Thank you very much. It was an excellent presentation. Thoroughly enjoyed. Thoroughly enjoyed. I was commenting also the 6-step formula of building high performance team from McKinsey you shared was wonderful, really. So it was, and we are getting a lot of appreciation, and some of your friends also have joined. So before handing over to Arpan for a brief take-home synopsis and question answer, let me recognize the active participants: Ratnesh Srivastav, Sandeep Bidwai, Shiv Shankar Maurya. Thank you very much. Satyam Tamar sir, thank you very much for appreciation. ICS Verma sir, Mayank Tiwari, Rohit Sasani, Bopal Mangalia, AKR, then Hardik Patel, Jagdish Pandya. Thank you very much, everyone, for appreciation and excellent sharing of learning. We are really grateful to Rajaram for sharing his real life experience. And this is not any theory, practical experience or how he is building high performance team. Right. So over to Arpan.
Thank you so much, Yashwant sir. And Rajaram sir, that was really a very insightful presentation on capability building. In fact, you started with the 3 steps of capability building, that is understanding business model transformation. Second is identifying the capabilities. And third is the science and the skills. Well, the processes that you said, they should have the tools and systems, the knowledge, the skill and behavior, and of course, the organization. The requirements about which you said were first is time management, because everything needs to be completed within a stipulated period of time. The constancy and hand holding, which is very important. We need to be very consistent, and we need to also be capable of hand holding people so that we can develop their capabilities. And next is practice. Very important, because whatever we are learning, if we are not practicing it, then probably there is a chance of forgetting it. And of course, the gauge the outcomes and the incentive. Then you told about the Da Vinci Code. which is about that principles never change, but tactics change, making the environment an emotional bank account. Fabulous presentation. And then it is about the gap in knowing and doing, which starts with the product life cycle, which has those 4 to 5 stages from developing a product to the end stage. Then there is, of course, the customer shift, the specialist to the super specialist, physical to virtual, translate the knowledge into action. And the process starts from who, then it comes to what, then how, and finally when. And the last part that you touched upon was very important. That is the 6 steps to transform marketing. The first is know where you are and where you are going. Second is to create a transformation team. The third is to score quick wins. The fourth is activate the organization. The fifth is to commit to coaching. And sixth is build performance culture within the team. So these were the important points that you said. And Facebook and YouTube is flooded with appreciation for the wonderful presentation that you have delivered. In fact, a lot of your friends, a lot of your followers, they have appreciated and sent their best wishes for the wonderful presentation that you have imparted to us on LPC 124. Now, some things that really come to the mind is that capability building is very important because it can transform the ordinary into extraordinary. So the first thing that I would like to ask you is that can capability building transform a ordinary workforce into a high performance team?
Thank you, sir. You actually nailed at the right place. This is very much important. What I believe is that once we are entering in this profession, everybody is ordinary. And this ordinary man, people, unordinary outcome. The first example is from everybody's time is that LPC. You started from very ordinary things, and then you this one small thought has make the big umbrella, and today is actually reaches to the worldwide. In our profession, particularly in pharma, you find that people has did the BSc, simple BSc, and reaches to the CEO level. So they are the unordinary. Another example that just disclaimer, I am just quoting one example that my India business head is by profession is a doctor, but in putting everything loss and profit in better than any many CAs. So in any one ordinary person can reach to the any extraordinary, but only thing is required learning attitude and consistency. What I believe.
Absolutely, sir. Building capabilities can definitely transform the ordinary to perform the extraordinary. And in fact, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. And believe me,
Yes.
sir, in a journey of 1,000 miles, only the first mile is hardly visible. The rest is your belief in your capability and absolutely the leap of faith that you take that you are going to succeed. So these are some very important things which it takes for any person to perform something out of the box. And that is why it is said that capability building is so important for the transformation of people. Now, this brings me to the next question is, uh, we have often talked about competency, different people having different types of competency. So how important is competency mapping in capability building?
I believe this is one of the very important thing is that capability building is cannot be possible without knowing the person properly. So the mapping is that you again it required different steps. So what the first step is that you should know the person not by theoretically. You just go work with them, stretch with them, walk the talk, do some tiki takas with him. Definitely you are able to plot this. Once you are mapping all your team, then you are able to make the process of your capability building. Without that you can't, because everybody is coming from the different education background, different geography, different level of understanding. You want to make everybody's capability at a level where they do where they should outperform this. So it is very much important. You rightly said. I agree too.
Thank you. The next thing that comes is that whenever we are thinking of capability building, another thing that definitely comes to my mind is attrition. Well, whenever we are building capability within our people, within our organization, within our team, does it actually bring down the attrition?
I believe this is the only solution to reduce the attrition. Giving extra incentive is not the right solution. It's a tactic only. Increasing the salary is again the tactic. As I already believe and said that the principle never change. So the emotional bank, what I believe is that if you are increasing the capability, your emotional bond is going to increase. Once your emotional bonding is increasing, your credit limit of your emotional bank is going to improve, and definitely it is going to reduce your attrition, because your colleague knowing that this is my right manager and mentor, I will develop my skills, definitely I reach to the next level once I'm developing my skills. So I agree to it.
Exactly. There is a saying that train people so well that they can anytime leave the organization, but treat them so well that they do not like to leave the organization. So I think this is the golden mantra every organization should follow, that we must build the capability of people so well that every company would be after them. But then when we are treating them, that should be absolutely the best, so that even if they get an opportunity, they would never like to leave their organization, isn't it, sir?
I agree. I
Another
agree.
thing that you said about capability building is hand holding. Now, along with hand holding, there is another word that comes, that is micromanaging. So, what is the basic demarcation that can actually be termed as hand holding and not micromanaging? Because these two words are often used interchangeably. Because whenever somebody is doing a hand holding, often it is said that he is micromanaging. So, what should be the basic demarcation between these two terminologies?
Sir, this is very intellectual question which you asked to me, and this is a big problem and trouble making for the manager once they are working into that. Definitely, the micro managing should not be done. So there should be. I mean, it's like ruthless and rigorous. You should definitely the rigorous, but you can't be the ruthless, right? Same wise, micromanaging is something that every day you are putting your brain into developing one small things. So I think everybody has their own liability. The employee, our team persons having their own liability to improve their small things. The bigger things you should adopt it. And again, I said that first you identified the who. This who person will automatically try to understand that where to go. But the still demarcation is goes wise. That means you go with your goal. The organization has been set to you. You try to understand that what is the obstacle in this goal. You just solve that obstacle, not going deep down to that. Try to learn everything, make him learn everything. Your aim is to coach him, not teach him much of the time. So the teaching element should be not adapting as a practice, but coaching element should be adapting the practice. I believe this is going to be solve the problem.
Yes, absolutely. Wonderful terminology you used. That is the teaching and coaching, because teaching has got a coercive factor behind it, but coaching has got a motivational element inside. So we should always try to prioritize coaching over teaching, because the learners should be more enthusiastic to learn. Then it should be the other way around, that the trainer wants to imbibe within them something which the learners do not want to imbibe within themselves. So fantastic and very well said about this. And I think we have taken up all the questions that had come. And thank you so much for being with us today on LPC 124 and sharing your learnings, sharing your thoughts, and of course, some unpublished reports and trials that you shared with us on capability building. Well, it's time. I thank our session support partner, Imagica Health, for constantly giving support to us in our learning endeavor. Thank you so much, and please continue your partnership, your support with us, so that we can continue our learning journey. Rajaram sir, thank you so much for your insightful thoughts that you have shared with us. And since today is the first time that you have touched this platform, that is LPC, I would definitely like to know what is your take home from this Life Pharma Coalition platform?
So first of all, thank you so much for giving this opportunity. So as I told you that I last 8 hours I continuously understanding that what is there. I just gone through the different platforms and the different leaders who's come into this. So what I believe is that the first learning is that most acceptable Indian pharmaceutical platform, from the leaders to the learners, everybody. This is my first learning, that it's most acceptable. Second thing, most appreciable. And what I found that it's more talkable also, and the people are talking, it's a talk of the town. It's become like people are talking about this LPC, and they're waiting that what learning process is coming. So these are the 3-4 things which I learned from it. But it is very good kind effort for pharma to develop it, because otherwise earlier you find that it is there in the software in ITs. They are having their platform, but we were not having. Thank you so much for developing this platform for all of us to develop it ourselves.
Thank you so much, Rajaram sir. Well, it wouldn't have been possible without the support of learned speakers like you, who have graced this wonderful platform with your knowledge, thoughts, and experiences. And that is what has basically given us the impetus to carry on our learning endeavor. And in fact, next Sunday, that is the 11th of September, we are going to have the LPC 125 conclave at Ahmedabad. And today is the last day for the early bird registration. So if you have not registered for LPC 125, don't hold yourself back. Register today to avail the early bird, that is rupees 2,000 registration. And believe me, as far as networking is concerned and physical connect is concerned with the top leaders in this industry, you are going to get it everything at Ahmedabad on LPC 125 conclave. So before we close today's LPC 124, once again, I would like to reiterate to all our audience that we are still not over with COVID. So let us please maintain the COVID appropriate behavior of SMS, that is sanitization, mask, and social distancing, along with the compulsory vaccination. Let us try to keep our environment clean and green, because that's the best gift that we can give to our next generation, as we all know that we do not have a planet B with us. So before I end the session, I generally narrate a small story. So today's story goes like this. An old lady had just lost her husband, and she was feeling very depressed, and she was very alone, because she had nobody with whom she can talk. So she went to a pet shop and bought a talking parrot. Now, after she bought the parrot home, she started to talk with the parrot, but unexpectedly, the parrot wasn't talking. So the very next day, she again took the parrot back to the pet shop and told the pet shop owner that, well, your parrot is not talking. What should I do? So the pet shop owner said that, do you have a mirror inside the cage? Because parrots like to see their reflection and then they start talking. And the lady purchased a mirror. But again, going back home, the parrot was not talking. So next day again, she came back to the pet shop owner and said that I have put the mirror, but still the parrot is not talking. Now the owner said, do you have a ladder inside the cage? Because a parrot loves to climb on the ladder and start talking. So the lady purchased a ladder and installed it inside the cage, but still the parrot wasn't talking. Next day again, she came back to the pet owner's shop and said the same thing. Now the pet owner said, do you have a swing inside the cage? Because parrots love to swing, and that is when they actually start talking. So the lady purchased a swing and put it inside the cage. But once again, the result was the same. The parrot wasn't talking. The next day, again, this lady went to the pet owner's shop, and today she was looking very depressed. The shop owner asked, lady, what happened? With a very depressing voice, she said, the parrot has died. Now, the pet shop owner was feeling very guilty, and he asked her, did the parrot tell you anything before he died? Well, she said, the parrot said that, doesn't the pet owner sell any food for the parrot inside the cage? Yes, my dear friends, sometimes we forget our priorities in life. Because what is urgent and what is important, we need to understand the difference between these two. Sometimes what happens, we run after all the things that are not so important. And in the bargain, we sacrifice some of the most important things. While we are in the pharma industry, when we are all learning, we are all running to match the numbers, sometimes we forget something more important, that is learning. Because whenever there is a good learning, there will always be a better earning. Because the difference between learning and earning is the L. You remove the L and it becomes earning, and you put the L, it becomes learning. So let us all try to invest our time, energy, and of course our capability into learning something new, because this is something which is going to take us to the next level in this organization. So that was today's story. And thank you so much, friends, for being a part of Life Pharma Coalition. Let us keep learning so that we can always keep ourselves updated with the latest happenings in the pharmaceutical industry. Thank you so much, Rajaram sir, for sharing your invaluable time with us, with your insights on such wonderful thoughts about capability building. Thank you so much, Yashwant sir, for chipping in whenever you could with your important add-ons as far as capability building is concerned. And thank you so much to our live audience who have been constantly sharing their thoughts and along with the appreciations for our speaker. So this is Arpan Kumar Paul telling goodbye to all of you with a promise that we are going to reconnect next week, not only digitally, but also physically at LPC 125 Conclave, Ahmedabad, where we will be having a galaxy of stars. And as Yashwant sir said, the Mahakumbh will be at Ahmedabad next Sunday. So don't miss the event. So expecting all of your presence there, and I'll be there so that I can welcome you all along with our entire LPC team with Mr. Yashwant, Mr. Raman, and Mr. ICS. And I'm sure we are going to have a great time there. So thank you so much for joining with us today. So have a wonderful Sunday and catch you next Sunday at Ahmedabad. Namaskar and goodbye.
Thank you, Arpan sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. So with your permission, shall we conclude this meeting?
Yes, thank you so much, dear.
Thank you, sir. So from here now, I'm ending this meeting. Have a great day to all.